Clinton banishment is not enough. Buy me a tea. May the 10th, 2008. What kind of people are the Clintons? With that post-South Carolina rhetorical question, Bob Herbert of the New York Times nailed it. What kind of people indeed? It is not sufficient for the Democrats to banish the Clintons, as some Democrats are now urging. The left is beginning to understand what most of us knew long ago. The Clintons are woefully unfit, dangerously self-serving, psychopathic, actually. It is more important, it is critical, in fact, to revisit all the charges lodged against the Clintons, charges that the left had dismissed out of hand. The outrageousness of the Clintons' crimes, actual and apparent, has always worked to the Clintons' advantage, making the disabling of these flagrant psychopaths all the more challenging. But disable them we must. The left must re-examine the following. 1. The death of Ron Brown mere days before he was to testify about Clinton Commerce Department corruption and mere days after he told Clinton, "I will not go down alone." Brown was alluding to Hillary Clinton's central role in engineering the scheme to sell trade mission seats. Brown's conveniently fatal Croatia trip that whisked him out of the country post-haste, and out of reach of the court system permanently, was booked for Brown by the Clintons immediately after he made that statement. Recall Clinton's jubilant air at the Brown funeral. Jubilant until he spied the camera, that is. Note the call by Jesse Jackson and the Black Caucus for the requisite autopsy of Brown, whose head contained what a government pathologist who voted for Clinton twice, by the way, said looked like a bullet hole, was hushed by a payoff made right under our collective nose, the Clintons' Wall Street project. The WSP yielded millions over the years for Jackson and his cronies. X-ray of Brown's head at deletehillary.com. 2. The 120 redacted pages of the Barrett Report. An abiding theme in the redacted pages, insiders say, is the Clinton camp practice of using the IRS to punish its enemies. Mr. Clinton plainly did not leave this illegal practice behind in the Oval Office. By all accounts he has maintained a tight grip on a number of government departments and agencies, notably the Justice Department and the IRS, the folks who can deal the deadliest damage. Entire commentary by Mark Goodman at deletehillary.com. 3. The rape of Anita Broderick by Bill Clinton and the threatening of her 2 weeks later by Hillary. Interview of Broderick about the threat on YouTube. There's not a sex act mentioned in the book. What is important is Hillary savaging the women. Carl Bernstein. 4. Why the Clintons ignored terrorism for their entire tenure. See Virtual Kill. YouTube. 5. And, oh yes, Rwanda. See Destroying Obama. YouTube. The first black president. Clinton legacy of lynching update. Buy me a tea. It may be true that the law cannot make a man love me, but it can keep him from lynching me, and I think that's pretty important. Ironically, the logic of this pronouncement by Martin Luther King would, in short order, be refuted by the reality of his own lynching. King's hope was misplaced and his reasoning was circular. The resultant rule of law relied on by King presumed an adherence to the rule of law in the first instance. Adherence to the rule of law is not something normally associated with the Clintons. Moreover, racial and ethnic disrespect, intimidation, exploitation and hate have always been a fundamental Clinton tactic, and the reflexive use of the N-word and other racial and ethnic slurs, an essential element in the Clinton lexicon. When the first black president and his wife ran Arkansas, the NAACP sued them for intimidating black voters at the polls. Conversely, the Clintons' refinement of the DNC drag and drop is, arguably, one of the more insidious and repugnant applications of their special brand of race hate politics. calculating a black man's worth to be 5/3 of a vote is no less racist, and arguably more so, than calculating his worth to be 3/5 of a white man. The latter is demeaning, but the former is dehumanizing. But it is even worse. Listen to Randall Robinson in this video, read below about Rwanda. Only one conclusion is possible, a Clinton legacy of lynching.